You know, Warren Buffett's investment habits are a lot like my diet. Just when I think I've figured it out, he throws a curveball, like investing in Canada. That's right, folks. The Oracle of Omaha is eyeing our neighbors to the north, and I'm not talking about maple syrup. Now, you might be wondering, why is Buffett, who's typically known for his love of American companies, suddenly turning his gaze towards the land of the maple leaf? It's a good question. In a recent announcement, Buffett expressed his confidence in the Canadian economy, hinting at a possible investment. This comes as a surprise, considering his usual investment patterns. But let's not forget that this isn't his first rodeo in Canada. Remember his investment in Home Capital Group? The Canadian market, with its robust financial and commodity sector, seems to have attracted the attention of the investment guru. Just this year, the S&P/TSX Composite Index in Canada has seen a 5% increase. Not too shabby, eh? But the exact company Buffett is considering for his investment remains a mystery. What we do know is that Buffett sees potential benefits for Canada from Berkshire's involvement. It's like a game of Clue, but with billions of dollars at stake. So as we all scramble to understand this move, let's remember one thing. Warren Buffett investing in Canada is like a bear discovering honey. It could get sticky, but it's probably going to be sweet. Now, you might be wondering, why Canada? Well, it's not for the poutine or the hockey, though I'm sure those are nice perks. Canada is more than just its iconic national symbols. It's a country with a robust economy, making it an attractive prospect for investors. Its financial and commodity sectors are strong, and it's seen a 5% increase in the S&P/TSX Composite Index this year alone. That's like hitting a puck straight into the net in an ice hockey game, eh? But it's not just the figures that are appealing. It's the similarities between Canadian and US operations that make Canada a comfortable investment choice for American investors like Warren Buffett. It's like having a neighbor who loves barbecues as much as you do. You know you'll get along just fine. And let's not forget the potential benefits for Canada from Berkshire's involvement. It's like getting a surprise visit from your favorite grandparent who always brings the best gifts. Berkshire Hathaway's investment could bring a significant boost to the Canadian market, just as Buffett's previous investment did for Home Capital Group. But this isn't a one-sided relationship. Berkshire Hathaway also stands to gain from investing in Canada. Remember, this is the same country that could potentially give the Warren Buffett of Canada, Prem Watsa, a $1 billion return on his investment in BlackBerry. That's a lot of maple syrup. So while the specifics of the potential investment are still under wraps, it's clear that Canada is more than just a pretty face with a friendly demeanor. It's a country with a strong economy, similar business operations to the US, and a promising investment environment. So it seems Canada has more to offer than just a friendly and a Tim Hortons on every corner. Who knew? And what does this mean for us, the everyday investors? Should we all be rushing to put our money into Canadian stocks like a moose charging through a maple syrup factory? Well, let's take a step back and consider what we know. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha himself, has announced that Berkshire Hathaway is eyeing an investment in Canada. Now, this isn't the first time Buffett has shown interest in the Great White North. Remember the Home Capital Group investment? That was a clear signal of his support for the Canadian market. But what does this all mean for you and me? Well, it's no secret that Buffett's moves often set the tone for market trends and investor behaviors. His investments are like a beacon, guiding ships in the vast ocean of finance. So when he turns his gaze towards Canada, it's only natural for us to wonder if we should be following suit. However, it's essential to remember that investing is not a one-size-fits-all game. What works for Buffett might not necessarily work for us. After all, we don't all have billions of dollars to play with. Yet there's something to be said about the potential benefits of investing in Canada. The country's economy is robust, boasting a strong financial and commodity sector. And let's not forget about that 5% increase in the S&P/TSX Composite Index this year. That's not just a drop in the bucket, folks. That's a significant uptick. So should we all start brushing up on our Canadian slang and pouring our savings into Canadian stocks? Well, not necessarily. but it might be worth considering as part of a diversified investment strategy. So while we might not all have Buffett's Midas touch, we can at least take a page from his playbook. And who knows, maybe we'll all be saying sorry in a Canadian accent before we know it. So to wrap it up, Buffett's got his eyes on Canada, and it's not just because he's a fan of Justin Bieber. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, is seriously considering an investment in the Great White North. The Canadian economy is flexing its muscles, showing strength in its financial and commodity sectors, and this move by Buffett could potentially sway other investors to follow suit. But as with any investment, there's an element of uncertainty. In the end, we'll have to wait and see if Buffett's investment turns into a pot of gold or just a plate of cold poutine. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an interesting ride, eh?